Because our favorite Browns reporter is not Jason Lloyd, because he covers everything. And he joins us on the Fan Hotline. He's on The Athletic. He's from The Athletic. He's also, you hear him on the Fan working with us when one of us are out. Hello, Jason.
Hi, boys.
Who ordered the code red? That scene wouldn't have worked if Jack Nicholson just laughed at him.
Well, the fact that you even, first of all, you have to ask that and then lead with that is part of what I keep saying is the larger issue facing the Browns. Like the fact that every decision that comes down, and it's fair, you have to ask, well, whose decision was this? Was this the owner? Was this the GM? Was this the head coach acting on his own accord? Like that's what drives me crazy about the Browns. I have no idea who ordered it. I wouldn't be shocked if someone strongly encouraged Kevin to give it up. I wouldn't be. I was a little bit surprised that it happened. I was. It's the easy thing to do, right? When an offense isn't working, is fans call in and scream at you guys, give up the play calling, and people in the media scream, give up the play calling. But rarely does it happen. And I can't recall. Tell me if I'm wrong. I can't recall it ever happening 2 years in a row.
I didn't think he would do it again. I was shocked yesterday. I was too. I did not think I heard him say it, and I just thought, I was like, he's just saying it to say it. I did not think he would really give up play calling.
Can you recall this happening two consecutive seasons with a head coach?
Did Sirianni do it?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I'm asking maybe 2 out of 3 years, or
I don't know. And obviously he survived it, and not only survived, won a Super Bowl. But it's so unusual. It's so unusual. And last year, you could kind of make the case that, I wasn't sure that I believed that he did it on his own accord, but I did, it is a logical excuse to say, hey, I need to go be a head coach, because there were little fires all over the place. Defense was not playing well last year. Special teams was a catastrophe. Everything was a mess. And it's like, okay, you know what? I need to go be a head coach. And you could buy that. This year, it is only the offense. The special teams has had blurbs here and there. The defense is fine. Defense is playing well. It is the offense. And it feels like the head coach throwing his hands up and saying, maybe someone else can figure this out. I maintain it's a lack of talent more than anything else. There's just no talent on this offense outside of Judkins, who's a rookie. But we'll see. It's a huge opportunity for Tommy. It's a great opportunity for Tommy. He's already had head coaching interviews with the North Carolina, and they kind of had to give him he earned it, but promote him to OC, or else lose him to another staff last year. So if he comes in and turns this around and actually gets production out of this offense, it really sets him up well to take another lead next year.
Yeah, I said a week ago, if they weren't going to give him the play calling duties, then why was he hired here? What was the point of bringing him in?
Because you had to get rid of Ken Dorsey.
Yeah, sure.
That's why. And you didn't want to lose him. He's a bright offensive mind. Obviously, he's very well respected. Nick brought him to Alabama. It was a coup when the Browns got him. It was kind of wow, that's a pretty good get.
A coup? I think maybe Clay Kubiak would have been a coup had they have been able to get him.
A coup.
Well, go back and look. He was one of those bright young offensive minds, a hot candidate on the coaching levels, and it was a good get for them to bring him onto that staff. And in order for them to keep him this year, they were going to have to give him the OC job.
All right, Jason Lloyd with us right now. So are we looking at the last week of Dylan Gabriel as the quarterback of the Browns?
I don't know. I tend to say no, but I do think Shedeur is going to play at some point. I don't know that we're there yet. I just don't think that we are. I think that they're going to keep running Dylan out there, barring injury or total collapse and catastrophe. Obviously it hasn't looked good, obviously. I thought his best game was his first game, and I thought it's progressively, not that was, you and I argued about that at the time, about the Minnesota game, but what he's done since, I just think that he's regressed, not progressed in the weeks that followed, but it's still only a handful of games, and I think that they're going to keep running him out there.
Really?
We got a lot of season left. Where do you go next? If you bench Dylan now, and you go to Shador, and that doesn't work, you give that 4 or 5 games, and that doesn't work, you still got a month of football.
Well, if he's not practicing, he didn't practice yesterday, so I imagine he's not probably going to be active Sunday.
I think there's There's going to be a 30 for 30 on this Shedeur season with the Browns.
What do you mean by that? What do you know? What do you know? What did you just walk into? You tell us what you know right now.
No, I mean, come on. There's obviously a lot going on behind the scenes. I think that's pretty evident. Like, I don't think you have to be a crack reporter to figure that out.
Okay.
I'm just saying. Like, I just think that there's a lot there.
So when is he going to play?
I don't know. I do think he'll play. Like, he kept him around this long.
That's not an answer. Come on. When do you think he's going to play?
I don't know. December?
Can we get to the behind the scenes thing? I'm kind of more interested in that. To be honest,
I'm trying
Jason,
to get to it, but I can't just
he has
ask
been.
it.
No, I'm not. Listen,
well, here's why. Hold on, Jason. He is somebody. I think it's very cool that he'll go to these high schools. He's gone to some local colleges. You see him kind of throwing with guys. I don't even know if that constitutes extra work, but he's been out in the community. I think he's been showing off Cleveland in a cool way, right? But when you say there's stuff going on behind the scenes,
well, don't run away with this. I'm just saying, like, the fact that he's as high profile as he is, that they take him where they take him, that there's been this jostling of him on the depth chart. Now there's this back injury. Like, there's just a lot. There's just a lot of noise, and that's part of the Shedeur experience. There's just a lot of noise all the time.
Do guys with back injuries typically fly across the country when they're rehabbing?
That's what I'm saying.
That struck me as odd. I got to be honest. I don't hear a lot of that. Normally, that's not an ideal situation.
Well, it was good for him to get away. It was good for him to go see his family, especially rookies going through this for the first time. Obviously, it's been a struggle for him just in terms of how he thought his NFL career was going to go a year ago at this time and how it's actually gone. If guys are really hurt, usually they keep them at the facility to rehab. I shouldn't say usually. I've heard of it happening quite often.
Well, can't you take a Saturday off?
Sure.
I know. You're making too much sense. That's not what he wants. That's not what he wants. He wants you to tell him that he's not taking the job. I know what Anthony wants. He wants you, Jason, to tell him that he's not taking the job very seriously, not taking the opportunity very seriously. That's what Anthony wants. He's not denying what I'm saying.
It's the bye week. Like, let the kid go see his family.
Go see his
father.
All do
it.
Tone.
Yes.
I have no problem with that. I have no problem with that at all.
It's not a big deal. That's part of it. It's not a big deal.
Wait a minute. Sorry, Jason. You just said that. Is it typical for guys? I know how you ask questions. I know how the wizard works. You asked, is it typical for people to fly across the country with a back injury?
Yeah.
That's what you said. So I know what you were aiming at when you asked Jason that question. Jason knows what you were aiming at. Don't sit there and play patsy with him.
I thought it was very cool that he surprised. Remember, he had that video on Twitch that we played, some of the audio, with him talking about how it was important for him to stay in town, to be big ready at any time. And then that threw his dad off, I'm sure. And then he surprised him. That was a great homecoming. And then then they got their asses killed in Boulder.
Just let the kid go see his family.
I was at Jason's dad's funeral.
You were.
I had to go because I had to go use the bathroom. So I told Joe Varden to tell you I'd send my regards and I had to get the hell out of there.
There was about 300 people in line.
I had no idea your dad was such a popular figure. I would have showed up way earlier. It was unbelievable. I showed up. I go, what is this? Is there like a high school graduation going on next to it or something? They were directing traffic. It was unbelievable. I had no idea Jason's dad is the most beloved person in Lorain County history. Anyway.
Well, I pulled Tad Carper and Sarah Jameson out of line. I should have done that with you. I don't think I saw you.
The best move Dan Coughlin ever did when his wife passed away is he started walking through the line. And getting people, he's like, this is running too long. We got to get people out of here. This is such a great idea. I told Liz, if there's actually people at mine, you got to do that. You got to do that. Anyway, back on track. You're talking about things that are passing away. The Browns season. Jason Lloyd joins us from The Athletic. So this is what I think bothers everybody. And this is what I hate. I got to tell you, Jason. Is okay, I've called you the Culligan man, and I've made a lot of jokes about you carrying water for Kevin. But I also think that this goes both ways. I look at what Kevin does, and I go, okay, now what's Tommy Rees going to do? I don't think he's any sort of magician, and your ingredients are still your ingredients. So is he going to turn this wide receiver group into, Alvin Harper and Michael Irvin? Like, no. So I got to tell you, I'm expecting more of the same, just with a different coat of paint.
And that's why I was a little bit surprised that Kevin made the decision. But who knows? Maybe we'll all be surprised. Maybe there is something to get out of this. I've run the numbers out before. They are among the slowest receiving group in the NFL. They don't create separation. They don't catch passes. They don't catch contested passes, and they drop first downs. They lead the league in drop first downs. I don't know how changing play callers will change any of that. Plus, they've got a rookie third-round quarterback who has struggled badly. So I don't know how changing the play caller changes all that. But, listen, if the Browns come out here and Dillon throws for 300 yards and they hang 30 points on the Jets, we're going to have a pretty interesting conversation next week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that I expect that to happen, but if it does, is that an indictment on Kevin? Yeah, you could certainly make that case. Like the Flacco thing, everyone throwing their hands up and screaming about Flacco. I'm like, well, what would his numbers be if he was throwing to Isaiah Bond and Cedric Tillman? What would his numbers be in Cincinnati? The fact that he sees Jamar Chase on the field and he could be triple teamed and he's just going to throw it up there and know that he's targeted him 42 times over 2 weeks. Like, is this really an intricate offense, or is this a veteran quarterback knowing where the best receiver in the NFL is, and I'm just going to throw it to him and let him go?
All right, Lloyd, let's get to what's left then. If the receivers are having those kind of issues, I do think the offensive line stepped up in terms of the at least protecting Dillon Gabriel last game. Is there something to build on there?
No.
Okay.
Not at the tackle spot. No. I mean, I said it all year. The offensive line is kind of in crisis mode, is it not? Like the fact that you don't have any of these guys under contract for next year. I mean, if you think Whippler's ready, okay, there's your center. He's been here for however many years.
That's one.
He better be ready. Yeah, that's one. Joel more than likely is going to retire, so you got to fill that. Zach Zinner can't even get dressed on Sunday. He was supposed to be that guy ready to go.
What's going on there? What's going on there?
He's terrible. That's what's going on.
He's just bad?
Nothing. Yeah.
How?
It's been a massive disappointment.
How?
And I wondered. I don't know.
He was really good in college. Like right before the injury, he was like, I don't want to say elite, but damn, he was really good.
That was the one that you thought, okay, they got something here. Like never even a question that he could bust as a guard. Like it's easier for tackles to bust than guards. It just hasn't worked. And like they had terrible line coaching last year. Mike Vrabel became the de facto offensive line coach by week 2 or 3 or whatever it was. They obviously made the change. I thought, okay, let's give another chance. Maybe it's just rookie struggles. I don't know if there's any lingering effect of the injury. Didn't work with the line coach. It could be a variety of reasons as to why. But the fact that he still can't get on the field is alarming. Like that's really troubling. And I just from poking around and talking to people, it's kind of head shakes. Like it's bad. So he tried him last year in some spots, and I think he played in there was that stretch where they played NFC East teams that had really good defensive tackles, and he basically got mauled. And again, you think, okay, well he's going against really good defensive tackles. Maybe, and it just hasn't worked. So, I made the case earlier. You might have to bring Wyatt Teller back. I kind of thought this might be Wyatt's last year, but you might have to bring him back. Do you want to bring Jack Conklin back? He can't stay healthy.
No.
DeJuan Jones every season ends with surgery before the season's over. How can you count on him for a spot? So you're right there. You're going to need 2 tackles. There's just a lot of holes on that offensive line. We haven't even got to the receiver and the quarterback and all that. So this whole they were never going to fill all their spots in one draft, all their holes with one draft. But yeah, there is still like I look at like left tackle, quarterback, receiver. Those are you need number 1 picks. You would like ideally, I would think, number 1 picks for those 3 spots, and you've got 2 picks next year for 3 spots. And if you need to bundle the 2 to move up to get a quarterback, although that may not be necessary with how poorly this is going, hopefully they'll still have 2 number 1 picks next year to use. But there's a lot of holes that they're going to have to address. The offensive line is to me is really, really concerning. We spend so much time talking about everything else. You're going to have to draft the tackles more than likely. I know they got lucky on the Teller trade. They traded like Dorsey traded like 2/5, I think, to get Wyatt or something like that, and they stumbled into a Pro Bowl guard. After the guard they drafted, I forget that guy's name, Austin Corbett. After that didn't work,
he ended up being okay, Austin Corbett, but not Wyatt Teller. Not Wyatt Teller.
And that's why, like, you kind of hold out hope for Zinter that maybe something will click because he was such a good college player. But 2 years in, it's just not there yet.
Jason, as an aside, has baseball eclipsed the NBA?
No, I don't think so. I think it was. I know the numbers were tremendous because the series was tremendous, but I don't think that the sport. And I love baseball, by the way. Like, that's my number. I love baseball, but I still think NBA is number two. There's a work stoppage more than likely coming in baseball soon that will probably hurt in terms of popularity and crowds and all that. So I still think NBA is two, but that was a tremendous, tremendous series.
All righty. Jason, thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Talk again.
Yeah.
Bye.
Jason Lloyd, The Athletic, on the Fan Hotline. Yeah, I'm not going to take that bait that you're laying down. I ain't going to do it. I'm just letting you know that right now. I got 40 minutes left to go in the show, and it ain't going to happen. So if you want to keep trying to bait me about the Shedeur stuff, it ain't going to happen. Okay?
It was Jason. He says there's behind-the-scenes stuff going on. Wouldn't elaborate. What's the behind-the-scenes stuff?
I don't know. I don't think it's a great idea to speculate. What do you think of that?
Do you think Shedor's people want him playing in this situation?
Oh,
now,
for the love of God.
Now new offensive coordinator, no receivers, offensive line shaky.
You don't think we should speculate in sports talk radio? That's the whole gig, Ken.